Joke Vlog.
Guys, this next set of movie reviews is going to be quite problematic to talk about. I'm talking about Species. I have a hard time saying species or species or she-spees, but you try to bear with me. From 1995, starring a whole lot of other people, and it says introducing Natasha Henstridge. I think this is quite possibly her very first role, because that's usually the case when it says introducing, or at least first major motion picture whenever that comes up. But at any rate, this is a sci-fi movie. Did pretty well, made over $100 million in '95, and that's considered decent enough to spawn a franchise to some degree. We have this gal, a young teenager, played by, the blonde chick from Dawson's Creek, I forgot her name. That gal. She is escaping this compound where they were gonna try to poison her to death, and you're kind of confused, but she evidently has superhuman powers because she breaks through some glass ceiling, right? Runs away, gets on a train, just kind of acts like a scared girl, right? Actually killed a bum that was just, I don't know if he was trying to sexually assault her or not, but murdered him, possibly by accident. You have Ben Kingsley. Lots of Oscar power in here. The young girl, she has an Oscar. Ben Kingsley's got an Oscar. Forrest Whitaker's got an Oscar. Ben Kingsley puts together this team to go track her down. Michael Madsen, Forrest Whitaker, Alfred Molina, Mark Helgenberger. Prior to CSI, well after China Beach. The team has different skills they bring to this. Michael Madsen is sort of a government wet works guy, takes care of things on the hush, cleans up messes. Forrest Whitaker is an empath. He's there to solve all plot holes and create conveniences. Alfred Molina, not much to do. We'll get into that later, as he's sort of a patsy. Mark Helgenberger shows some empathy for the girl that escaped. Her name's Syl, and it's like, yeah, well, of course, you didn't raise her from mother's love, none of this stuff. Tell us about her. Oh, well, she's a half-alien hybrid. And here's where the movie's most interesting. They evidently got a message from outer space with SETIs, satellite radios. Hey, they're not really telescopes, let's be honest here. But they intercepted a message telling them how to do things. Among them, how to build an alien. Manipulate the DNA, combine it with humans. This is a result. You actually had a few embryos they put on ice. This one, they bring to maturity. And she develops really fast. She's actually quite young. And we will find that Syl gets into a cocoon. There's some bad CGI. You know, this is a $35 million budget movie in 1995. The CGI is going to be suspect. You knew that going into this. Luckily, a lot of the practical effects look pretty decent. When she emerges from the cocoon, kills a nice black lady on the train, by the way. She's now Natasha Henstridge, emerging from the cocoon naked. And really, this is where the movie kind of falls apart. Because it depends on what movie you wanted. Yeah, now the film is basically a conduit to become the most expensive softcore porn ever. Because it's about, really porn concepts. There's an alien, she has to sleep with a lot of guys. She's looking for the perfect mate. This is not a great idea. It's almost like we had a good sci-fi possibility here, and it devolved as we tried to make it mainstream, or in the least marketable, try to build an audience for it, some way to sell tickets. Natasha Henstridge's boobs. Evidently that sells you some tickets, but this movie doesn't pick up any kind of cult following. It's not funny enough. It doesn't have the one-liners. It doesn't have funny, interesting deaths. Instead, a lot of it feels really derivative of Alien, done in a sleazy way. For example, H.R. Giger designed the alien xenomorph. Made, I believe, by himself, the eggs featured in Alien. Designed the Syl costume here, the creature. Sort of translucent, with a black hard carbon type base underneath. It's not awful looking. Unfortunately, when you get much of an appearance at it, it's in CGI form, which is lackluster. big time. As she goes around trying to keep away from old people. She's trying to keep away from old people too, because she's looking for desirable mates. She turns down a guy because he has insulin. Oh, it can't be spreading with the diabetes. This sort of comes up as a plot point in the sequel, and is one of the better things about Species 2 in that regard. But she goes about killing things with sort of a tongue punch, and it's like an alien. And so it's kind of like, is this really just a sleazy alien ripoff? She evidently gets the serious hots for Michael Madsen's character. By the way, really the last time he has that kind of leading man look about him, if he ever did. But she wants to hook up with him. He's hooking up with Mark Helgenberger. Theoretically, he made the bad choice if we're looking at realistically, right? Because like 19-year-old Natasha Henstridge, pretty hard to say no to. At any rate, she's spying in on them, pretends to be housekeeping. She learns in these kind of ways. She actually was able to pull this off because she had just previously faked her own death in a rather horrible manner. Evidently posed as a rape victim to get on the good side of a woman, cut her own thumb off, which grows back instantly, and that's silly. Then cut her thumb off so she'd have a corpse in a car that she launched down a cliff to match the, hey, we found a thumb in the door, let's test it. Why not test the whole body? Well, that confirms that still she died. Everybody go to the hotel, celebrate, have some drinks, have some Long Island iced teas, Forrest Whitaker. It's kind of weird and silly to think they would stop with their investigation right there. But as she wants to put the moves on Michael Madsen, has to settle for Alfred Molina, because she sneaks into his hotel room, try to spy on the other ones. I guess she was gonna punch through the wall, take out Mark Helgenberger, never managed to do so. Settles for banging Alfred Molina, who theoretically has the best role in the movie for this very reason. As the female, she really doesn't have to murder the guys. I mean, they kind of did their butt, you know, drop off the payload. Kills him anyway, runs below the hotel into the sewers. We have a very generic sewer type chase. She's in the water, jumps Ben Kingsley. He's checking out the movie. Michael Madsen goes off by himself. She's actually now ready to give birth. Gives birth to a rat boy type homeless kid. Kind of grotesque. Forrest Whitaker hits it with some flamethrower. Falls into an oil pool. Flames are coming up everywhere. Syl gets chased into that shot. Falls in. Tries to jump up. Second chance life. I don't know how she flew up out of oil. How'd she get her grip on anything to do that? Grabs Forrest Whitaker. Gets shot in the head with the one interesting kind of kill line, but forgettable in the movie. And that's that. Everybody walks away. Marg Helgenberger, Forrest Whitaker, Michael Madsen, they survive. And one of her tentacles gets chewed on by a rat. And so that sets up the sequel, right? Not exactly. At any rate, I give Species 2.5 out of 4 stars.
You just watched a video from my son. He's about 40 and lives in my basement, ladies. So subscribe her and notify the bell for ringing. Okay, I said what you wanted me to say. Now do the goddamn dishes.